Welcome back to Key Shapes, relating major to minor key signatures and scales. There are 15 key signatures. Each one has one major key and one minor key. For the major scales, the half steps are from the 3rd to the 4th note of the scale and from the 7th to the 8th. So when we start on C, E is the 3rd, half step to F, we stay on naturals. Moving on up whole steps, B is the 7th, half step to C. So we have all naturals when we start on C and build a major scale. When you play a 1-octave scale starting on the 6th note of any major scale, you get the relative minor scale with half steps at 2 and 3 and 5 and 6. So A, B, half step 2 to 3 gets us to C. And then the 5th note is E, and a half step to F. So C major and A minor are relative to each other because they share the same set of notes and the same key signature. But the tonal center, the do, changes. So C major has a key signature of no sharps, so does A minor. This works in every key. From C major to C minor is called parallel. Major-minor scales that start on the same note are called parallel to each other. We just built the C scale, so we know that that's all for the major key. It's all naturals. The parallel minor to C major is C minor. Now we have to have half steps at 2, 3, and 5, 6 to make it minor, and we need to use accidentals to make that change for now. So instead of having the E, we need the half step 2 to 3, so it has to be E flat. G is the 5th. We need a half step to the 6th, so we have to use A flat. And a whole step from 6 to 7 gets to B flat, a whole step to the octave, so that's C. So the C major key signature is no sharps, no flats. C minor is 3 flats. This works in every key. Another example of relative keys. D major to the 6th note of that scale is B, so B minor are relative keys. So D major, we need a half step from 3 to 4, so a whole step 2 to 3 up to F sharp, and then a half step to G. And then a half step from 7 to 8 gives us C sharp. Relative keys share the same key signature. The relative minor starts on the 6th note of the major, so in this case that's B. We're going to use the same notes, but a different starting tone, a different tonal center. D major has 2 sharps, B minor has 2 sharps. This works in every key. Another example of parallel major-minor keys, D major to D minor. For the D major scale, whole step to 2, whole step to 3, half step to 4, whole step from 6 to 7, and a half step from 7 to 8. Parallel keys do not share the same key signature. The minor always has 3 more flats or 3 fewer sharps because we're changing 3 notes. So for D minor, we're not going to use the F sharp. We're going to drop that a half step and use F. And the 6th is not going to be B this time. We got to drop it a half step. The 7th is not going to be C sharp. We got to drop it a half step. So the key signature for D major is 2 sharps. The key signature for D minor, minus 2 sharps and a flat, is 1 flat. This works in every key. Sharp keys, finding major and minor do. Helpful hint. Within the structure of any sharp major scale, the last sharp in that signature is the seventh note of the scale. From that last sharp, go up one to get the major do. From that last sharp, go down one to get the minor do. For flat keys, helpful hint, within the structure of any flat major scale, the last flat in that key signature is the fourth note of the scale. From the last flat, go up 2 notes for minor do, and go up 2 more notes for major do, staying within the key, of course, as you're making those changes. We're going to review major and minor key signatures now. The relative minor always starts on the 6th note of the major scale. The last flat is the 4th note of the major scale. What keys have 7 flats? A flat minor, C flat major. From the 6th flat, go up 2 for the minor, up 2 more for the major, E flat minor, G flat major. From the last flat, go up 2 for the minor, go up 2 more for the major, B flat minor, D flat major. With 4 flats, up 2 for minor, up 2 for major, F minor, A flat major. 3 flats, C minor, E flat major. 2 flats, G minor, B flat major. 1 flat, D minor, F major. The relative minor always starts on the 6th note of the scale, and the last sharp is always the 7th of the scale. So go down 1 from the last to get the minor key, and up 1 to get major. So with 6, you go down 1 for minor, up 1 for major, D sharp minor, F sharp major. From the 5th sharp, down 1 for minor, up 1 for major, G sharp minor, B major. Down 1 for minor, up 1 for major, C sharp minor, E major. 3 sharps, F sharp minor, A major. 2 sharps, B minor, D major. 1 sharp, E minor, G major. What keys have all naturals? Of course, that's C major and A minor. The parallel minor always has 3 more flats. So here's an odd situation here. How can we have 10 flats? We'll talk about that in a second. We never have more than 7 flats or sharps in a key signature, so use the enharmonic key. So instead of C flat, you're going to go to B. Instead of G flat, go to F sharp. Instead of D flat, be C sharp minor. A flat major has 4 flats, so A flat minor has 7. With the sharp keys, the parallel minor has 3 fewer sharps, or as you'll see in a minute, 3 more flats. 7 sharps goes to 4 sharps for the minor, 6 sharps for the major, means 3 sharps for the minor. Now we're going to cross over like positive and negative numbers. 2 sharps is D flat major, so 1 flat for D minor. C major has all naturals, so C minor has 3 flats. There are 2 ways that major and minor keys relate to each other. Relative major and minor scales share the same key signature, but the minor scale starts on the 6th note of the major. Parallel major and minor scales share the same do and follow the same pitch sequence, but the minor always has 3 more flats or 3 fewer sharps. Review the key signatures and this major to minor, relative, and parallel videos. Major to minor scale review. And when you're ready, finish up everything in the Key Shapes pack. Thank you for learning about the relationship between major scales and their relative and parallel minors. Feel free to review this video as needed and ask your teacher if you have any questions. See you next time.